Weekly Gear Update is brought to you by Mid-South Shooter Supply.
Welcome to another 6'5 Guys Weekly Gear Update. I'm Steve Lawrence.
And I'm Ed Mobley.
Ed, we recently changed up our reloading practices by moving away from an expander ball to a mandrel. In fact, in this case, the Sinclair expander mandrel.
Yeah, and our good friend Scott Satterley made the recommendation because he's been using a mandrel for some time now, and he was experimenting with neck turning and some of the advantages of that, but he found out that he could get reduction in SD and extreme spread as well as concentricity by using a mandrel.
Yeah. You know, I like the fact that by using a mandrel, you're expanding the neck to a consistent circumference by pushing down rather than pulling up with the expander ball, thereby reducing the amount of variation on the case shoulders.
Yeah, because I've actually played around with it, and when you're pulling up with an expander ball, I've noticed you get more variations as measured to the datum line versus where you're pushing down with that mandrel, because the case just seems, just from a geometry standpoint, almost like the roof on your house. It just seems more resistant to downward force than upward force.
Now, these are fairly easy to use. These accommodate a wide variety of cartridge lengths. You basically purchase the expander die, the mandrel die, and then the mandrels come in a variety of sizes. This is the Gen 2. So in this case, Gen 1 used to have a set screw that would be put up against this flat part on the mandrel. Gen 2 does away with that. It actually uses this cap, and it allows the mandrel to float by using an O-ring at the top.
Right, it's a nice design, because I have the Gen 1, and when you have it in there with a set screw, it's completely rigid. But there's a little bit of side-to-side play here, and then with the O-ring that's in this cap here, it provides a little bit of extra space, so when you screw it together, you can feel that.
It allows the mandrel to better center itself within the case.
And they indicate that if you don't subscribe to floating the mandrel, you can simply remove that O-ring and then tighten it all the way down.
And it's locked down.
And then it's locked down, and you won't have that up and down movement.
So I've been using this now for a couple of different cycles of brass, a couple of hundred rounds, and have actually noticed a decrease in my standard deviations in the chronograph readings that I'm getting.
So I haven't noticed the decrease in standard deviation yet. I've done my first lot with it, but I measure the concentricity with the Sinclair tool, and I have noticed an improvement in concentricity. Now, note about the different expanders. You're gonna find two types. You're gonna find what they call the expander mandrel, and the expander mandrel is 1/1000th under the caliber diameter. There's another mandrel called a neck turning mandrel that is 2/1000ths under the dimension of the caliber. So what it allows you to do is you can play around with your neck tension. The expander balls tend to be about 1 thou to 1 thou and a half under the caliber. And so if you want a little bit of extra neck tension, you can go with the neck turning mandrel. What's also nice about the neck turning mandrels is they're also available in carbide. The expander ones, as of the filming of this video, are only available in tool steel. Nothing wrong with that, but as you know, the carbide is just gonna last forever.
Right.
But it is a bit more expensive, but you have an option.
Yeah. Well, guys, hopefully you found this information interesting. We have definitely enjoyed moving to adopting this practice of the expander mandrels, and hopefully I'll kind of expand my collection of mandrels as I try this out with more cartridges.
Yeah, and again, you'll use this after your sizing operation, so you'll just use your sizer without the expander ball, and then if you're using a progressive, you'll just put this in the station after after the sizer, yeah, and you'll be good to go. And of course, you can get them at Sinclair and Brownells. They may be sold at other retailers on the internet, but you can definitely get them there.
Awesome. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Make sure you stay tuned next week for another gear update.
Remember, folks, life's an adventure.
Stay on target.